verse 1 to 38. I'll be reading from the New International Version. The two angels arrived at Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. "My lords," he said, "please turn aside to your servant's house. You can wash your feet and spend the night and then go on your way early in the morning." "No," they answered, "we will spend the night in the square." But he insisted so strongly that they did go with him and entered his house. He prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast, and they ate. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. They called out to Lot, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them." Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, "No, my friends, don't do this wicked thing. Look, I have two daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you like with them. But don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof." "Get out of the way," they said. "This fellow came here as a foreigner, and now he wants to play the judge. We will treat you worse than them." They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. But the man inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, young and old with blindness, so that they could not find the door. The two men said to Lot, "Do you have anyone else here, sons-in-law, sons or daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place. The outcry to the Lord against its people is so great that he has sent us to destroy it." So Lot went out and spoke to his son-in-law, who were pledged to marry his daughters. He said, "Hurry and get out of this place, because the Lord is about to destroy the city." But his sons-in-law thought he was joking. With the coming of dawn, the angels urged Lot, saying, "Hurry, take your wife and your two daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished." When he hesitated, the man grasped his hands and the hands of his wife and of his two daughters and led them safely out of the city, for the Lord was merciful to them. As soon as they had brought them out, one of them said, "Flee for your lives, don't look back, and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains, or you will be swept away." But Lot said to them, "No, my lords, please. Your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you have shown great kindness to me in sparing my life. But I can't flee to the mountains. This disaster will overtake me, and I'll die. Look, here is a town near enough to run to, and it is small. Let me flee to it. It is very small, isn't it? Then my life will be spared." He said to him, "Very well, I will grant this request too. I will not overthrow the town you speak of, but flee there quickly, because I cannot do anything until you reach it." That is why the town was called Zoar. By the time Lot reached Zoar, the sun had risen over the land. Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, destroying all those living in the cities and also the vegetation in the land. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Early the next morning, Abram got up and returned to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the plain, and he saw dense smoke rising from the land, like smoke from a furnace. So when God destroyed the cities of the plain, He remembered Abraham, and He brought Lot out of the catastrophe that overthrew the cities where Lot had lived. Verse 30, Lot and his daughters left Zoar and settled in the mountains, for he was too afraid to stay in Zoar. He and his two daughters lived in a cave. One day, the older daughter said to the younger, "Our father is old, and there is no man around here to give us children, as it is the custom all over the earth. Let's get our father to drink wine, and then sleep with him, and preserve our family line through our father." That night, they got their father to drink wine, and the older daughter went in and slept with him. He was not aware of it when she lay down and when she got up. The next day, the older daughter said to the younger, "Last night I slept with my father. Let's get him to drink wine again tonight. You go in and sleep with him, so we can preserve our family line through our father." So they got their father to drink wine that night also, and the younger daughter went in and slept with him. Again, he was not aware of it when she lay down or when she got up. So both of Lot's daughter became pregnant by their father. The older daughter had a son, and she named him Moab. He is the father of the Moabites today. The younger daughter also had a son, and she named him Ben-Ammi. He is the father of the Ammonites of today. First thing I would like to share, yung kining nga passage is quite similar sa nahitabo kay Noah. Na God destroying the entire civilization, pero doon ay nabilin ng usa ka pamilya na wala niya gi-punish. Yeah, another thing, it is familiar also tungod kay this story ends up with a father being drunk. Diba si Noah nahubog po? Unya sa time ni Noah, ang iyang anak po nakasala po sa iyang amahan. Kainaan, sin against his father. Dire po sa chapter 19 is the same scenario, nakasala po ang iyang anak sa iyang amahan. Unya, just like sa time ni Noah, adunay curses uttered na adunay effect ang ihimo sa iyang anak ngadto sa future plan sa iyang pamilya nga nasa imo. And the same is true with Lot. Adunay dako kayo nga effect kini nahitabo nga sexual act na nahitabo sa anak nila. Kay ang Ammonites o ang Moabites mao ni ang greatest enemy o dili maayo impluwensya nila sa Israel as the time goes on. Later makita ninyo as you read your Bible. So mo na idea din. So doon ay similarity. And then the most similar thing is that God destroyed the entire civilization, leaving nothing. In fact, doon ay mga historians nga nagkuhan nga di nila matrace ang location dito sa Sodom karon ug Gomorrah. Unya adunay speculation nga kini nga plain mao ni ang near in the Dead Sea, mao ni ang plain nga kung asa datis nagsettle ang Sodom and Gomorrah. And they discovered nga ang land adunay approximately mga around 2 feet thick ang sulfur na makita nila sa ground. Niya kung ato ka sa pikas ground, healthy man ang yuta. Pero diri ano na may strange composition sa land. So the archaeologists partially concluded na maybe mo ni ang location. Pero isa sa ilang observation dito, there's no life in it. Hantod karon wa gyud kay matanon diya. So sa may wisdom diya, nga na kusuko ang Ginoo to the point God really erased them in the history of even ang ilang land location, itanggal nito Ginoo. God wanted no remembrance about Sodom and Gomorrah. Yan na sa kasuko ni lugar. So atong tanaw story, sabto nato ang mga scenario diri sa aduna tay mag-draw ng mga lesson and at the same time aduna tay understanding may tungod sa statement nga gigamit sa writer din. So verse 1, notice that the angel arrived at the evening. No? Sayo pa sila ng lakaw, gikan kay Abraham, nagpabilin ang Ginoo, pero ang mga ka-angels nagpadayon padulong sa Sodom and Gomorrah, but they arrived there evening. That was intentional. Kaya nga naman, tungod kay sa Sodom and Gomorrah, the day begins at the evening. Kaya naman, nightlife magsugod. So, buntag, tulog ang mga tao, suway makita ang mga angels, pumato sila sa iyo. Kaya nga naman, puro pulaw ang mga tao, hubog sa gabi, pagkabuntag, kapoy kayo, so tulog sila. The city was okay, pero pag evening di makita ang sinugdanan sa ilang mga lifestyle. So that was intentional, that the angels arrived at the evening. Kaya nga naman, that's where the city, the most people in the city are awake and doing things in according sa ilang gusto buhat. Kay all the rest, ang tarong na syudad, mingaw yun ang gabi. Kaya nga naman, tulog ang mga tao. Mga ganing hadlo kay sa Davao. If you roam around Davao City, hangtod alauna, alas 2 pa lang, mata mga tao. No? Kasulay na magsuroy din sa, labi na ning banda din sa may obrero, no? Hindi yan magsugod. Alas 6, alas 5 sa hapon, magsugod na nagplastada ang mga kuwan diha. Mga bar diha. And so therefore, hadlo kaya na ba? Kaya meaning to say, it's a sign nga we are living in a society, community nga na ay tendency that the wickedness are rising. And so it's dangerous. And so therefore, it's a call for us to pray for our community. Kay lisod kung masagol ta. And then, the second aspect na ito makita dili is that Lot was sitting by the gateway of the city. Ang tanan, naaman sila, yan, gabihin dako, naaman siya sa entrada yun sa syudad. Okay? What do you mean by that? And so what it actually means, the city gate is actually a place where the leaders of the city settled, and then muna ang time na nagabantay sila, nag-assess sila sa kahimtang sa syudad. Okay? So sa lahat ng makasulti, doon ay duha ka implication dili. Lot was regarded as, niabot na sa point sila, nung kay dugay na siya sa syudad, niabot na siya sa point that he is now part of the council sa syudad. So naa siya position, probably naa siya function. Mabitaw ganing nga ang tawag saya sa mga tao na, okay, judge na rin ka karon. Kay si Lot was part of the leaders sa lugar sa Sodom. So, mo na naa siya sa city gate. Okay? So, mo na yung idea. So, naa siya diya, tungod kay naa siya role, naa siya function, naa siya natawag nato, naa siya call as the community is concerned. So, part siya sa mga pagpadagan sa syudad. In fact, according to some scholars, si Lot ang isa sa mga nag-assess sa mga crime sa syudad. Iya ang ginatanaw ang crime sa syudad. Make sure na everything is okay. And so, makita natin dali na since Lot is regarded as one of the elders sa syudad, maybe therefore, makita natin that he is somewhat, mingon ta he is the righteous among these people. Dili sa lisod ang kinabuhi, dili sa sayon ang kinabuhi ni Lot, dili tungod kay sa tao niya, nasagol siya sa mga dautang yun. Niya karon na siya function, so kinahanglan exercise niya ang iyang role as a leader to facilitate the city. Pero I think dili niya kaya na, kay grabe ka wicked din ang syudad. And so in a sense, na makita nato one way or another, he is regarded as a righteous one among this. Niya dili lang na, it is interesting to note na even at the midst of the wickedness of the city, he was able to manage his daughter to keep from any sexual immoral act. In fact, sila ang nag-ingon nga sa ilang edad karon wa pa gyud sila nakasinati o sexual act beyond marriage, no? Mo nay nahitabo. And so, to be fair sa kay Lot, it's quite interesting na Lot is trying to live his life within Sodom and Gomorrah, trying to live his life to maintain yung iyang consciousness about righteousness and God. And so no wonder, when he saw the men, probably, morning hinungdan, was he able to recognize kung kinsa ang lisulod na bisita. But beyond that, what I would like to express sa verse 2, checking on diya sa verse 1 and then verse 2. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. Verse 2, "My lords," he said, "please turn aside to your servant's house. You can wash your feet and spend the night and then go in your way early in the morning." So makita na itong gesture nila din na it is probably not only that he recognizes it is the angel. I don't think so. Kaya nga naman, walay stress sa passage nga iyahang i-recognize ang angel at first na sila to. Not unless na-ingon ang angels nga God sent us to destroy the city. Dito pa siya murag naimasmasan. Pero sa start, wala. It's just a respectful gesture na ihatag nila, knowing tungod kay siya ang leader sa syudad, kabalo siya kung kinsa ang karaan diha, kabalo siya kung kinsa ang bago. Pagkakita niya sa duha ka tao, bago siya ang pananaw, that is why he paid respect. Kaya nga naman, because it was evening at that time, kabalo siya nga makita nato dali that God is trying to save them from being corrupted sa syudad. And so, iyang giunahan, bago pa makasulod ang mga tao sa syudad, iyang giunahan. Concern kaysa sa ila, kaya nga naman isa, magani iyang invite dito sa sabanay karon. Ayaw pasagdi nga magabian mo diri kay di gyud maayo yung makita diri sa syudad. Pero ingon ang angel, we want to stay on the square. Ang other version sa square is streets. In other words, the angel insists na, no, di mi kinahanglan nimo padayon sa balay. We want to see what is really going on in this city. Pero sila tingin gyud siya, no, please go to my house. Nya makita nato sa verse 3 that he insisted persuasively, and then the angels went in with him sa iyang balay. Kaya nga naman, Lot wanted to spare them from really seeing the city, especially at night. So diya pala makahatag na gitagaan na taga-idea sa passage nga, grabe ka, mangtas din niya syudad. Grabe ka, daotang ni syudad. Di bisan sila, di niya gusto nga na mga bagong bisita. Ma-influensyahan sa kabuang ni ining syudad. The foolishness or the wickedness of this city. And so he was trying actually not to pay respect, but he was trying to protect them from seeing the city, especially at night. And so he insists. And so makita nato sa following verses, verse 4, verse 3, na nagtagumpay sila sa iyang pagpaningkamot to convince them. And so therefore, we can sense in Lot here na adunang yun siya consciousness, may tungod niya na he is fully aware that the city is very much evil and wicked. He is fully aware. And so therefore, kung na chance for him to exercise ang iyang influence nga to spare, kana bang luwason ng mga tao ang dili matakdan sa kalaki sa syudad, iyang buhaton. Now this is interesting about Lot, that he do everything in his power to save the visitors from being influenced in this city. And so therefore, it is said to us passage na he showed hospitality, he served them, and he offered them food, so on and so forth. But notice in verse 4 it says, before they had gone to bed, so probably sa orasan na, sa orasan na matulog. Alas 10? Ang tingtulog ron, alas 12 na. Kaya mag-cellphone pa man, hantun alas 12 na. Hindi yun kaon, hindi mag-decide na matulog na. Sayo na kayo ng alas 10 ron. Sa mga young people, sayo kayo ng alas 10. Matod pa sa mga taga-syudad, nagsugod pa lang ang gabi niya. So most likely, kay syudad man yung atong gisgutan kay Lot, most likely this is very late. Butang na ito mga alas 10, alas 9 na lang, sayo na lang nato. Di na lang yung tamukuan, di na lang nato parehasog sa Davao. So alas 9, sayo yung alas 9. Pero morning time, they intend to rest and go to bed. But it was exactly the moment nga mga tao nanggawas, especially mga lalaki, nanggawas niya nangadto sa balay nila. Niya di lang nangadto, nang bulabog yun sila. Nagskandalo. Kaya gusto nila. Sa gingon diri, all the men, notice the word he gamit, all the men. Niya, sa next version pa yun, young and old. So imagine all the men in this particular city. I don't know pila population sa Sodom anong time. Pero may imagine ang isipon mo, all of them. Ni ganoon na gani ko last time na study ko ani. Katong fiancé ni sa duha ka anak ni Lot, ni appeal po siguro. We do not know, no? Pero kung yun i-regard ang word ni gigamit diri, all of them. So probably butangan na to, sila ni appeal. Pero that's a lot of number to be in that particular time. Yeah, that's not a good time. Di ba? So, meaning to say, the men, is particularly in this time, were all awake. Nagsugod pa ang gabi, naapa sila sa sugod pa ang ilang una-una, gusto pa sila o kaya bang time to enjoy, so on and so forth. So that is why they seek. Another is that makita natin dito sa gingon, surrounded house lot. And then they called out to Lot, verse 5, where are the men who came to you tonight? So sa may implication din makita natin. Makita natin din ang gingon sa mga tao is that we know that Sodom is a perverse city. So bagkusabot, niadto sila kay Lot tungod kay they want to try something new. Ingana na mga pervert eh. Kana bang mabot siya sa point na sumbol na kaayo ni so lahi na sa ngita tag lahi na niya kay nakabalita mo sila nga na ay bisita sila. So kadto siguro kay lahi to. Adik to ta. So makita niyo mga tao diri, especially mga lalaki, na boring na sila ang mga routine everyday. Though they are awake during the night, though they are making happy things during the night, but they want something new. So in other words, this particular passage reveals to us how wicked is the city. Now they want something new. So they kind of boring sa ilang lifestyle, they kind of boring sa ilang sexual, immoral act, and so they wanted new. So yun na ang dagan sa mga pervert person. They want to explore, they want to experiment, and above all, they want new. And so that is why the only option to satisfy their craving, their lustful cravings, and perverted mind is to go to Lot's house. More nang naa sila diha, na. And so that will give you a picture how wicked is the city. Young and old went to his house, calling out, where are the men? Yeah, there's only one reason na anong gusto nila na niadto sila dito. Sa gingon there sa verse 5, bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them. Grabe nga language ang gamit din. Wagi mga pagbasa na ko sa Genesis chapter 19, all the more na po ang Bible ba di gyud para sa mga bata. Pero kita maginikanan, sige kita gusto gyud nato mabasahan ninyo ng Bible. Ato yung pugso ng ato mga anak ng Bible. Pero sa tinuod lang, ang Bible wala isulat para sa mga bata. Para gyud sa mga adult ang Bible. Yeah, it is as if kita murag kabalo na ta sa Bible, kaya di na ito masahon. But it is as if kita familiar na kayo sa tuwang story sa Bible. Pero kaya itong tanaw, makita nato diri that the Bible is also an honest book. Wala yun siya skip out ng mga terms. Gani in chapter 19, very, very wicked ang gibutang diri. And it was God was so honest na iyahan yung share ka natin. Makita nato diri na very pornographic ang idea diri. Dili lang sa start. Labi na ang ending sa story sa chapter 19. Very, very dark ang ang story. And so they want to have sex with these men. So we know that the city is a pervert city. Imagine they want to try something, they want to do something, and then they want to share their lustful desires to these visitors. And then here comes Lot in verse 6. Gawa siya in order to spoke to the people. Kung siya naitabo, wow, ginaninaw sa iya mga tao. Kung siya naitabo diya, Lot recognizes that there was a wicked act. Very interesting kay Lot. Wala na siya nasanay. Wala na siya nasanay sa mga tao diya. And yet, he is fully aware that it was evil, it was wicked to do it. So siya mismo nag-remind sa mga tao na dili nila na angay buhaton. But here comes a twist. Rather than preventing them, iyan na yung gi-offer ang iyang mga anak. Grabe kasada nila. I don't know kung seryoso sila by saying, I have 2 daughters. Okay? Ayaw niyo sa mukha akong bisita, pero ihatag na ko ang mga anak ninyo. Kunya, kani mga anak na kaslunod ba yun eh? Kunya, gi-preserve niya for many years. Iyang gitudluan, iyang siguro, iyang gibantayan yun. Iyang pasulod yun sa iyang balay during the night. But here comes then, Lot is willing to compromise his daughter on a single event sa iyang household. What happened to Lot? He know that he is weak. Pero when he offers his daughter, he doesn't care. Kabalo mo sa implication sa iyang gingon, I have 2 daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you and you can do anything you like with them. Nasabot mo siya gingon nila, rape them. Why problema na ayaw lang ako bisita. So not only that we are given an account mahitungod sa syudad, how wicked they are, but we are also given an account kung unsay effect if you live in that particular city as well. So Lot was aware, conscious, he is trying to live a righteous life, pero makita nato nga with his principle, it was also affected. Even to the point, he cannot stand by the pressure of the men, but is willing to give his daughter in exchange. Nga makita natin diri nga mas bukat to protect the visitors rather than to protect the purity of his household. So what happened to Lot? I think walay laing tubag ni Ana, that's the consequence if you are in this kind of city. Matakdan gyud ang imuhang prinsipyo, pamuyo, ang imong nahunan. Yeah, even to the point, wala na kay boundary between right and wrong. Wala na. Then verse 9, we're told, get out of the way, get out of our way, they replied. This fellow came here as a foreigner, and now he wants to play the judge. We'll treat you worse than them. They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. Again, that's another revelation about this kind of city. Nga na sila ka-pervert, even to the point, they would deny normal sexual activity. Nakita ba ninyo nga they deny having sex with women? Because what they want is something new, something different. And so verse 9 tells us the severity of their wickedness. That even they have been offered with a woman or children ni Lot aning a time, but they don't want them. Sawa namin ni anak. Laki yun ang gusto. So, nakita niyo, this chapter, there's verse 9, gave us a clear picture of the wickedness of this city and the perversion of their mind. that what they want is the pleasure with other men. Mo nagingon ni Apostle Paul in Romans chapter 1 that they burn their self with the desire, exchanging the natural sex with women to unnatural sex with men. Niya ingon si Apostle Paul in Romans chapter 9, it's something that God cannot tolerate, and it's something that God can never look into, rather than punish and destroy. And so the Lord in verse 10 intervened. But the man inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, young and old, with blindness, so that they could not find the door. Ngunit ako kay hinungdan, nakatakas din sila. Kaya way makakita nila ni panahon. And most likely, wala gyud na appeal ang iyang mga future son-in-law kay na-istorya po Manila. But dili na ako gusto ihatag ng emphasis. I want to give emphasis is that kiningingon sa verse 12. Okay? Verse 12. The two men said to Lot, do you have anyone else? Sons-in-law, sons and daughters, anyone else in the city that belongs to you? Get them out of here because we are going to destroy this place. And in the last statement, yun sila, the people, the Lord against His people, so that we are here to destroy it. And so the angels never visit the city to observe, but to actually destroy. Niya, so may itong makita nila. Makita natin din that what they are really practicing in the city, it's something that God should punish. And so all the more, gitagaan ta og statement sa passage,